Alright guys, I know a lot of you wanted Atlanta Playbook, and we're going to talk today about Atlanta Playbook, and we're also going to talk a little bit about a recommended scheme. I don't know what that sound was. Hopefully you guys can hear that. Anyway, I want to talk today about teams that are effective and why we use certain teams, why people use certain teams in Madden more than other teams, and why schemes. Again, I say this a lot. Offense is offense. Offense is always going to be very good in Madden. The key about offense is you have to find an offense that suits your roster. So if we take a look at the Green Bay Packers, this is the team we're going to break down for this offense. If we take a look at the Green Bay Packers, we very clearly see that they have one of the best quarterbacks in the game. We don't even need to look at all the things he can do well. Arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. And in Madden-wise, I think he's the best quarterback in the game right now, as far as everything he can do with the 80 speed and then all the throwing abilities. But you see here, they don't have a huge luxury of running backs that are explosive. And when I say explosive, I mean something like Dewan Harris here with 94 speed, but a little bit higher catch rating. As you see, the 64 catching, he's not as explosive. I like to see something like Alex Green here, with 75 catch, but only 75 carry and only 88 speed. Unfortunately, I don't feel confident with that. And if you take a look, though, we have receivers out the wazoo in Green Bay. As you see here, we have 5 receivers that could be any 1-2 combination of any team. And so we're going to use that to our advantage. You see here we have Randall Cobb, who has very explosive with the agility and the acceleration, and then the ball carrier vision at 92. So we're going to be using Randall Cobb as our main feature running back. For the majority of this scheme, as you see here, we have even another target in Jermichael Finley, the 6'5" guy. So you can pick between Driver and Finley, anything you really want to do there. But that's why I want to talk about, this is why people run 5 wide receiver sets. I also want to talk a little bit about 5 wide receiver sets. And I want to talk a little bit about why they're effective and what makes them so good. Okay? So in a 5 wide receiver combination, as you see here, here's the playbooks we're going to be going over. We're going to be over Atlanta offensive playbook, and then later in another video, we'll explore the dime normal formation, and we're just going to go out in the 46 playbook because I'm going to show you that each scheme built behind the dime flat and the dime normal. So we're going to do kind of a combo scheme. We'll talk a dime flat scheme, we'll talk a dime normal scheme, we'll talk combining the 2 schemes together for our full scheme. Okay. So anyway, offensive audibles. This is the Atlanta playbook, guys. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be go ahead and set not the week. We will get the week in here. You want to go ahead and put your square audible as the weak vertical cross play. One of the best plays last year, in my opinion, one of the best plays this year. Go ahead and set the weak tight twins HB counter as your R1 audible, which means it'll be your right run. Your left run is going to be the weak twins. Toss weak. Okay, and then the other play that we need from this playbook is going to be the gun type flex. And it's going to be the gun type flex, the halfback counter. One of the most effective runs in the game this year, and we will tell you why we've played that as our audible. Okay. A couple of other plays to note. The I-form type pair out of Atlanta is very effective. You see PH spot, one of the better runs, better play action plays. You see the stretch, one of the best runs of the game this year. So a lot of things you can do from that if you want to have a power running formation later on in the game. That's not going to be a main audible. That's just going to be a mini scheme for late in the game. For your strong close loaders, they have strong close. I'm personally going to recommend the Falcons. Was it the Power O? Yes, it was. The Power O out of the Falcons playbook. I'm going to recommend that as your triangle play. And we'll talk about why we put those plays and where we put them. Now, guys, let's talk a little bit about quick audibles. What I do whenever I am making a scheme is I try to make my main audibles the audibles to give me to the formation so that I can get the quick audibles. Meaning, if I have the slants play, if I want to run the slants play as an audible, and I have it in my quick audibles, why would I put my main audible? Why would it be slants? Guys, I just don't see any point in that. Me personally, it's just how I feel about it. I want to have majority, as many plays as I can for line of scrimmage when I can have them. So that is why I put that power O in the counter there, is because the quick audibles are the main plays from that formation. Okay. So now that we understand why we use quick audibles and how we can use quick audibles in creating schemes, let's dive into this 5 wide receiver base scheme for the Green Bay Packers. Now, one thing we need to know is we're going to be coming out in 5 wide receiver set every single play. We're actually going to be coming out in the play that is right up there with basketball drag as far as one of the best pound-for-pound base plays in the game in Madden 13. So we're going to be talking today about the empty base formation. And there's a package in it that you see here. We have a running back here. Well, there is a package in it called the 5 wide receiver package. And as you see, we're going to go to the 5 wide receiver package of the empty base formation. And you're going to come out in this plate here, inside wheels. Okay. Any play on defense for right now. You see, this is the base play now. Let's just make sure we're correct and we'll audible into our formations. What should happen is, as you see here, James Jones goes to the running back and Randall Cobb goes to the fullback. So we made a mistake somewhere. And we need to make sure that our depth chart, we have James Jones and Randall Cobb switched. Okay? Real quick, we're going to make that adjustment in our depth chart. So this means that whatever wide receiver you want to put a running back, whether it be Randall Cobb, whether it be whoever, that needs to be your 4th receiver will be your running back in this little guide we're doing here. Your 5th receiver will be your tight end, so you can put your Michael Finley there, or Donald Driver if you choose. I like them both. I personally do like Donald Driver a little better. Here's why. The catch in traffic for Donald Driver is just a little higher. You see 94. Actually, it's tremendously higher, but he doesn't have the spectacular catch rating. So if you like more spec catch, I'd go with Finley. You like more size. If you like more catch in traffic and more of a sure thing, then I go with Donald Driver. Just your opinion. Greg Jennings, I'm going to go ahead and put the #1 receiver, and we'll show you why here in a little bit. Jordy Nelson is the #2 receiver. Okay. So now that we have the depth chart set up, we're going to go back out to the base play. We're going to come out in the base play, and then we're going to go over where our personnel is. Okay, so the base play again, inside wheels from the Falcons 5 wide. Okay, or from the empty base from the Falcons playbook. Now, if we audible down to the power O, you see that Greg Jennings goes to the running back. Well, the second best running back runner, so to speak, out of the receivers is Greg Jennings. Randall Cobb would be first, and then followed by Greg Jennings. As you see now, we can now run the ball with effectiveness from Greg Jennings at the wide receiver position. With that power O, we can also get to the rest of the plays we need to access from that formation. And again, if we want to just check to make sure, we can check down into our weak formation, or any formation with a running back. You see Randall Cobb is now at the running back position, and we're going to take the counter to the house right off the bat. Okay. Now that we understand the roster setup for this guide, we're going to go ahead and go over the plays. Okay. So the first play, the base play here, Falcon or inside wheels, I mean, from the empty base formation. You can run this play stock. You can also drag. Basically, square is the optional receiver. Now against zone coverage, X is going to be a decent route, and circle is going to be a decent route. But they take time to develop, which is why I more than likely would place Jordy Nelson on a drag pattern. You can also put Jordy Nelson on a deep out, and you can use the wheels as curl flat concepts. You can also put him on a streak. A lot of things you can do. Against fag D, if you're facing a lot of fag D, go ahead and put him on a streak. If you're facing zone coverage, I'd put him on a drag. And for some reason, we got clicked off. If you're facing man coverage, I put him on a deep out. So a lot of flexibility here. But for starting out, I'd put him on a drag. Okay? And you're basically just going to read Jordy Nelson. If they follow Jordy Nelson, then you know that the wheels are going to be open. If they don't follow Jordy Nelson, obviously he's going to be wide open. As a last check down read, if everything's covered, we're going to throw the ball to Greg Jennings with a down and inside pass lead. The X route from Finley is just another crossing pattern to read with Jordy Nelson. So it's basically just a mesh concept with the wheel routes on the outside and the post route over the middle. So that we are attacking every area of the field. Snap the ball. As you see, they don't follow Jordy Nelson, so we're going to hit him with a pass into the inside. Basically at 1 o'clock, go up into the inside, and we're going to get a field. Here again, they do not follow Jordy Nelson, so a down pass lead, and we're going to hit him very clearly. Now let's show you an example of when they will follow Jordy Nelson. So this time they follow Jordy Nelson. Now we can throw the wheel routes. What you want to do is you want to pass those as they cut at 3 o'clock. Okay, at 3 o'clock on the left side of the field, and at 9 o'clock on the right side of the field. Okay, so as you see again, they don't follow him. We can throw drags all day. So now let's talk about the next read on this play, and that's the 2 wheel routes to the outside. For some reason they're using the drag. Okay, we have the wheel routes. As you see against zone, if there's no flat defender, they will still roast it. Here against cover 2, if we just pass lead up, eventually he'll outrun it. For some reason Aaron Rodgers made the poor overthrow. But most of the time it's going to be money, especially with Aaron Rodgers. Pass lead. Here the wheel route beats zone coverage. For some reason the zones won't follow the wheel route. The wheel route gets behind the zone in terms of purple and flat zone. So that is why it's so good. But there's the problem with this play is you are somewhat vulnerable to blitzes. If you want to look at X quick as a snap throw, then that is a possibility too, because it could be open quick. And then you can make a check down read to the drag as well. Because it's a little dig route, as you see there, then it's going to turn into a crossing pattern. So it's a double move route. You can hit it in 2 different positions on the field. So as you see here, okay, that's cover. Okay, I'll look to the drag, and again, there's the drag in this little void zone. So a lot of things you can do for this play. This pretty much is the concept. Again, the wheel routes are going to beat your man coverage. With a pass lead to the inside, the drag route is going to beat your zone coverage. You just want to pass through the drag open, so whether it be up or to the inside is what you would do there. Pass lead to the inside, click on, and go get the ball. Okay, let's talk about Fag D real quick and why this is one of the best plays in the game. I'm backing up pretty quick. Against Fag D stands a chance, honestly. You're going to go man coverage in your standard Fag D. Say they blitz one dude. Everybody manned up, and they're using this dude and that, and they say they even spy this dude, take away the flag underneath. Okay. Well, if we're getting a lot of Fag D, we're going to be doing this. We're a street Nelson. As you see, the man, pass lead up and click on and go get the ball. Basically, is what we're going to be doing there. For some reason, we weren't able to make the catch, but if you guys practice it enough, you will be able to, I promise. Really quick, we're going to go over it again. Now, if that's not open, then pass lead the ball down into the inside of the post route. Again, Aaron Rodgers makes an uncharacteristically overthrow there. Pass it down to the inside. He's going to beat his man every time. So we're going to have to use her that route. They're also going to have to use the route to the other dude. So that does it for the base play, guys. Real quick, we'll be back to break down the rest of the 5 lines. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, guys.